Right. Fantastic. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to you all to this, well, what can I say? This amazing masterclass with, I'm making blush now, the most amazing guy I've ever met, Arjuna. He is the coolest guy I do know, most relaxed, chilled out guy I do know. And I've had the pleasure of working with you for about 3 years now, Arjuna. It's been time flown by. I value him as a trusted advisor and a trusted friend and an all-round good guy. And I'm excited to have you here. Every time we have these sessions, everyone says what a good night's sleep they get. Arjuna, thank you again for agreeing to be with us again tonight.
My absolute pleasure.
Sixth appearance in my group, but that shows how popular you are.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, the way it's going to work, I'm going to hand over to Arjuna. Arjuna, how do you want to do it? Do you want like questions at the end as we go along? How do you want it? How do you want the interaction?
You know, I've had such a full day with my kids that my brain is melted. So you make the decisions, and I'll just open my mouth and see if something good comes out.
If you can pop the questions in the chat. And then what we'll do is we'll get at the end, because Arjuna's brain's frazzled, and then we'll answer them and do that, okay? So that will be awesome. And then obviously Arjuna's going to talk to you about meditation, and then we'll do a guided meditation at the end. So over to you, Arjuna, and I'll keep it on the guest list.
Very good. Well, as Chris was saying, if you need to know anything, just shout. I'm pointing at my chat box, but obviously type something in. And if you need to talk, just say, can I verbally do it? And we'll unmute you. Obviously I'm biased, but I love meditation. I think it's probably the one thing that people don't do that could potentially transform their lives. When I got into meditation, I thought it was about being calm, about relaxing, about being present, and it is. But there's something in it that rewires your brain, just so you become the better version of you. You show up in life differently. And that's why I'm so encouraging of people just to try a little bit. And maybe that's once a week, maybe that's once a month. Maybe you can do something, maybe you're extra kind of consistent and get something in most days. I think it's such a wonderful thing. And we'll give you a taster later on if you haven't actually meditated before. But yeah, I'm a bit of a fan.
Me too.
Yeah. Why do you like it?
I just think it's a sense of calm and grounding it gives me. And when you've got a busy mind, just allowing that to sit with those thoughts and allow your mind to be busy. Well, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but yeah, and I generally thought I was good at meditation, Arjuna, until I did the 3-day retreat with you to learn how to ascend properly. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That was just like, completely, taught. I learned so much, but anyway, but yeah, that's why, because it's just that sense of being able to be calm with the chaos.
Calm and all chaos. Yeah, me too. The Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm sure you've heard this, and I say it time and time again, but I love it so much. I think it's, if you get this right, you'll have an excellent life. And it's the serenity prayer. And it goes, give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you can get those 3 things, then you are golden. And I would say meditation does that. Now, most people think meditation is just about serenity, acceptance, and it is, overwhelmingly so. But especially when they come and spend a weekend with me, people often say, oh, it became so apparent there were several things in my life where I was compromising, where I was saying one thing and not actually following through or doing it. This is important to me, but I wasn't actually taking steps to make a difference or make some change, because it takes courage. We get comfortable in our ways. A good meditation practice will show you both, where it is about just being Teflon, letting things slide off you, not sweating the small stuff, not sweating the big stuff. But it also gives you the clarity, the energy, the certainty, going, you know what, this is important. I want to make a difference here. I want to make a change here. I want to say something more often here, there, everywhere, right? So a spiritual practice, an inner practice, isn't about just serenity and acceptance. It's also about doing stuff, about showing up differently. And the wisdom to know the difference, right? We all have wisdom. We all know in our heart of hearts. It's just that we get so busy up top. Sometimes the signal doesn't come through clearly, or we doubt it. That impulse, that intuition, that wisdom, that gut feeling, and then our minds go, they smother it. For me, those three things: serenity, acceptance, courage, the energy, the ability, the clarity to change things, but the wisdom, the intuition, sometimes the downright patience to know when is the right time and when it's not. We've all tried pushing on a locked door and how frustrating that is, only to come back the next day and it just opens effortlessly. Sometimes that happens. So for me, those three lines of the serenity prayer are all the things that you get. Not to mention recovery and energy and a bigger smile on your face and a sense of humor and not being so reactive and stressed and, all of that stuff. So how do you do it? How do you meditate? Well, what I'll get you to do is just it looks like you're all sitting, the ones I can see. Just sit with me. Don't do anything at all. Just do this one thing of being where your body is, right? That's all. Notice the gravity pressing down on your shoulders, pressing down on your body, just gently pushing you down into the chair, into the ground. But then notice the ground pushing back, the chair pushing up. Notice all the contact points. If you want, switch and just notice the sounds of my voice around you. Maybe you've got a gurgling stomach. Maybe you can hear your breath just easily coming in and out. And find a point across the room. So you're gazing at this point, but you're just going to also widen your vision, soften your vision so you can notice what's directly beside you as well. So you're sitting heavy, at ease, listening to the sounds, but you're also just gazing at this point in front of you, noticing the colors, the textures, the light. See if you can just rest your eyes upon that point, but lower the eyelids a little bit. Keep the vision soft. Maybe you can notice the sense of space between you and the next thing, you and your phone, the computer screen. Whatever may be behind that. Just noticing the quality of distance, of space, of air in front of you, around you. And maybe you can get a sense that now is happening. This moment in time is happening and it needs nothing from you. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to get right now. right now. You can sit, ease, listening, feeling, seeing, breathing. And you may notice a quality to this moment, a fullness, a spaciousness, a sense of ease, a sense of calm, a sense of aliveness, maybe, whatever that is for you. This moment has a quality. Just notice whatever that is for you. So really, you're just curious about now, curious about this moment. Maybe you might get a sense of who it is that is watching. Who is it that is listening? Who is it that's smelling, breathing, noticing the quality of now? That sense of you. Just behind your eyes, maybe. Always been there. Unchanging. Alive. Wise. Permanent. There you are. Your higher self. So if you want, just breathe a little bit deeper. So try and breathe in and out through your nose if you can. Breathe deeper and slower. See if you can breathe into the bottom of your lungs or right down into your belly. May not be so easy to begin with, but just see if you can relax your belly. And as you inhale, deep, see if you can just let your belly expand a little bit. And then it will contract as you exhale. Now gazing at that point in front of you, like before, keeping the eyes soft. If you want, just close the eyelids or lower them, or indeed open them at any stage. But notice the quality of your breathing, long and slow. Coming in, going out. Breathing in to now, breathing out to now. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just noticing the quality of the breath as it moves in and out of this moment. If you're feeling a little bit distracted, maybe keep your eyes open, but keep your eyes fixed on that point. Soft though, so you notice what's happening the sides of your vision as well. If you want, breathe a little bit deeper, slow that breath down. Like really breathe. The more distracted you are, maybe the deeper, the longer, the fuller you might need to breathe. That's okay. As you breathe in, pause and wait for your body to need to exhale. Don't just automatically breathe out, just wait. See when your body needs to breathe. The same as you exhale fully, all the air comes out. Just wait. Really be curious about when your body needs to breathe in. Keep the face soft, the body relaxed. Just breathing in and out. You may even, if you want, think as you breathe in, I'm breathing into now. As you breathe out, I'm breathing out of now. Into now, out, back into now. And hey, your mind will wander off. That's okay, just bring it back. Just for a few minutes, just sit, notice the quality of now. As it is, as you find it. Breathing deep and slow, pausing at the top. Pausing at the bottom. And enjoying that quiet stillness between breaths. And if you want, just a few breaths, a little bit differently. What we're going to do is breathe in, a nice full slow breath. And when you get to the top, take a secondary top up sniff, sort of just to totally fill up, and then exhale as slow as you can out the mouth. As slow and as long as you can. So again, breathe in, long, slow, deep breath. That secondary top up breath, a lot shorter. In through the nose, then out as slow as you can through the mouth. As you exhale, see if you can relax your body, any tension, any resistance, anything at all. Cool. We'll do 3 more of those. Deep breath in. Very full, deep breath. Second, shorter, top up. Long, slow out the mouth, as long as you can make it. And as you've done those, you finish that last exhale. See if you can keep breathing in and out through the nose. but just let the breath come in and go out. Give yourself a minute or two just to do nothing, just for once in the day, just to sit, to be, to notice the quality of now. To give yourself a break from that mad dash to get things done, to be someone different. To have no insistences about now, to just meet now, this moment, exactly as it is. It's all around you, it's all within you. Notice the quality of now. Notice what it's like for you. Without seeking to change it. Just meet now as it is. When you're ready, just slowly open your eyes. But again, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Gazing out into the room or the space in front of you. And again, just fix your eyes on a point. See if you can notice what's beside you as well. Gazing into the space, the colors, the shadows, whatever's in front. Here you are. See if you can, when the mind comes up with a demand or an insistence or a we must or we have to, if you can let it go and come back to noticing the breath, noticing the quality of now. Noticing that sense of you that is noticing all of it. There you are. Good job. So, every time you take a deep breath in through the nose, down into the belly, back out again, take a little bit of the space. You can only breathe now. And maybe chaos all around you and madness and challenge and problems. Bring yourself back to now and deal with what's in front of you now. Yeah. We get so lost in the what ifs and I need to be doings and what do they think? Did I do something wrong? All of that. See if you can give that up and just do what needs to be done now. There's a time for action. And there is a time for just resting, for being centered and being and enjoying. Okay. So the breath, let that be a key. Let that be a reminder to that. And then that you'll find the wisdom. You'll know when you simply must accept, embrace, when you need to get going and do something different. That's right. So, I think Chris has some little audio tracks. So if you wanted to, you could download some of those and of me, a guided meditation, and just do that every now and then. You know, if you practiced in the morning, certainly you might have to get up a touch earlier or or leave your social media alone for 15 minutes. But what you'll do, you'll find, especially with consistency, is your day's just going to be so much more enjoyable, so much more effective. Maybe you can get a session at lunchtime or as you finish work, or you're sort of the end of the day, and you'll just find the evening, you know, it's almost like cleaning your plate, debriefing, getting rid of the day so you can enjoy whatever's happening for you in the evening. And you know, you can do it just before you go to sleep. It'll always give you what you need. And so it will help your sleep be deep and restful. So when's the best time? The time that you can do, the time that you can manage. How long is the best session? And how long's a piece of string? How long is now? All it takes, all it is a remembrance to live life here. You know, learning from the past and making plans for the future is necessary, but we don't spend your life there. Your life is here. It's now. So get here and you'll find all of life benefits. It's your power source. So if you can do a little bit of practice to that, you'll find you ride the storms, you can make better decisions, you become that, without really trying, that better version of you. Okay? But don't overthink it. Don't get tied up and I must do it for this amount of time. Okay? A little bit done regularly is so much better than a lot done never. Okay. So, common problems. I can't get my mind to shut up. And welcome to your minds. You know, your mind, I'm looking out my window and it's howling gale raining against the window. You know, that's our mind sometimes. Busy, noisy, stormy, intense. Sometimes it's calm, peaceful, blue sky day. It's a force of nature. And the harder you try to stop it, the more it seems to keep in play. So what we did just then was not really focus on the mind at all. We just paid more attention to the breath. And sometimes when you're really distracted, like the mind's got your hooks, most certainly you breathe deeper. You gaze at that point and you really pay attention to what you can see, what you can feel, what you can smell, the qualities of now. Sometimes it requires a lot of curiosity. Sometimes it's easy, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not about stopping your mind, because it is a force of nature. It's about stepping back from it. Just a half step back makes a world of difference. Okay. So don't get in a fight with your mind. You don't need to. You just need to learn how to pay attention to something else. And that comes very quickly. Right? That's it. Questions? How did you find it?
Thanks, Arjuna. Awesome as ever.
Thank you.
So either pop questions in the chat box or open your mic. If you got any, want to dive deeper on any of the points Arjuna raised, or anything you want to explain or didn't make sense, now is your opportunity.
You know, so often when I started meditation, I thought you had to sit a particular way as well. Now, the more horizontal you are, the more likely you are to fall asleep. And that's not a problem. But if you just bring your head up slightly, be comfortable, put your feet up. It's not about yoga, but yeah, more vertical is probably better for your alertness.
Yep.
Okay.
Glad you enjoyed it, Julie. Yes. Glad you enjoyed it.
You felt like, yeah, Keith, it's late, huh? I mean, this time of night, it's late. We everybody's had a big, well, not even, I don't know if you've got kids or whatever. We've all got a packed schedule. Made you yawn more. Oh.
Lovely.
Did anyone have difficulties? Anyone? Because sometimes we're so unused to sitting still. It's almost like our whole, I need to be doing something. And that can be, it's very rewarding to go beyond that, to have a different habit. Your legs are very restless. Your mind was jumping around. Yeah. And that can happen too. You felt you had to keep, and that's the deal. The breath pulls it back. Yeah, we've been lost in our minds for our entire life, and what we're doing here is just learning to have a different relationship, to stand back from our minds and pay attention to where our bodies are. It sounds like a funny thing to say, but we spend an inordinate amount of our day lost in our heads. We don't actually pay attention to our breath, to our bodies, to the moment, to now. And yet, everything you do, everything that you love it because it helps you be, at least in a not insignificant part, it helps you be very present and in your body. You're immersed in the thing. Whether that's some sporting pursuit, whether that's a fine conversation with a friend, whether it's a good book or a movie, you're immersed, you're absorbed in the thing. You forget this and you're in it. And that's what we're doing here, is learning to be in the moment at will. And that creates a lot of, a lot of flow states, a lot of high moments, a lot of joy, a lot of, aliveness is what I'm trying to say. But we're not used to it. So it does take practice. I teach a lot of people, and some of them say, I don't want to lose my ambition. I don't want to lose my edge. I need to be constantly doing something, almost as if doing stuff says something about who you are, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and all of that. And it's just exhausting. And so being able to sit without doing, without reacting to the mind, just leaving it alone for 10 minutes is so beneficial. Because you're going to see all those voices in your head, like, I must do this because then people will like me. I've got to do that because then I'll like myself. You see all the self-talk, which may not be so helpful. And it gives you a little bit of gap, a little bit of distance. And the voice will come up time and time again, but every time it loses its juice a little more. You go, hang on, I don't have to prove anything. There's lots of stuff that I love to do, that I want to do. But that's a whole world from I need to do this, or I should do this. Because what will people think? I'll be letting them down. All this stuff. Because that just leads to burnout and exhaustion and resentment, right? Viktor Frankl, he was a Jew who was captured by the Nazis, put into a concentration camp for 3 years. And he wrote a very small book, a very fine book called Man's Search for Meaning. And he said, there's always a gap between our triggers and how we respond. And meditation increases that gap, right? When you're exhausted and overwhelmed, that gap is pretty much non-existent. So someone presses your button and boom, there's an explosion, right? And you probably know that. But the more space you can create from either an external trigger, a person, a situation, an event, or a voice in your head, and I'd recommend that you start getting to know those voices, those triggers, so that you can learn to ignore them or do the opposite of them. That little practice there, just breathing, being present, being filled with presence, increases the gap. And that is such a good thing. So you don't blindly react, you can respond differently. But it just takes a little bit of practice, right? But a little bit of practice goes a long, long way. And the first thing you get, is like, oh, I get to decide. My body's jumping around, my mind's jumping around, I'm feeling a little bit restless, but you know what? I'm going to sit. Cool. Good stuff, Keith. Sally Ann, you're working with the same thing with your dog? Yeah. Julie, it was easiest just to switch off and allow. Able to allow the thoughts and let them drive off. Yeah, it's not easy when you first start, you're right. You just forget how good it is and how refreshing it is. Yeah. It's the funniest thing, the thing that does us the most benefit is usually the thing that we throw out first when we get busy. Do you know?
Oh, yes.
Well, life gets pretty good, right? And then we just go, I don't need that anymore. And we stop doing the very things that made it pretty good in the first place.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Chris.
No, I was just saying, absolutely. It's the first thing, I think I learned that from you. It's like, I'm stressed. Have you meditated? No. Well, hold on. Why aren't you doing something that really helps? I'm too busy. I've got other things. Yeah, but take that 5-10 minutes out, and put yourself back into that state. And yeah, it's true. It's such an effective thing to do.
It's so weird how slowing down, taking time out, gives you more time. It actually makes things go smoother, more graceful, more good luck or synchronicities, if you like. There's a little bit of magic to it too, and you won't experience that unless you do it. But the more you do it, the more you see it. But the benefit for me is one of the benefits is really seeing the voices in your head, the emotional attachment, and being able to just put a little crack in those. Go, okay. I don't need to just automatically do that. I don't need to. I get to decide. And today I'm going to decide differently. Right now, I'm going to decide differently. It's a beautiful thing. And the more you do that, the more it's almost like the root causes of all those voices and habits and all the stuff that we have just falls away. Hence, you become that better version of you without really thinking about it, which is lovely. So, is there anything else you guys need to know?
If not, I will let you go after your day with the kids.
Yeah.
Arjuna, how can people find out about you?
Oh, well, I see. I'm not really switched on, am I? Well, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I try and make at least my corner of social media a little bit happier, a little bit more mindful. So you go and find me there if you want.
I think you're also in both my groups as well, aren't you? In my private client group, and you're in the other group. So again, if anybody's looking for you, they can just look up your name, Arjuna Ishaya.
Yep. So look me up, or if you have a question, if I can ever help, and I honestly mean that, just drop me a line. I know Chris has got some of the audios, but can I put in? I've got a few more that I've been giving out to people. So
please do. Yeah, send them over. That'd be great.
There you go. There's my that'll get you on my email list, and there's about, I think, 3 or 4 initial emails that gives you some guided meditations and a little. So sign up there, Julian. You'll get a bunch of different stuff, and then you can either stay on my newsletter list or get out of there. But stay for the first 4.
Yeah, stay for the first 4 so you get them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't leave before then. Yeah, that's fantastic. What I'll do is I'll pop the link into the groups as well, Arjuna. So don't worry, I'll do that, and I'll email it out as well. So we can blanket it. So awesome. But
guys, remember that you always have the breath, and really, it is you can't breathe tomorrow. You can't breathe this morning. When you breathe and just gently pay attention to that slow breath, if possible, coming in and out through the nose, because it has a different effect on your body than breathing through the mouth. Breathe long and slow through the nose, especially long exhales. Then you become present, you calm the body. You can go, hang on, I get to decide how I want to be right now. You can slow down, drop down, back off from whatever emotional, mental storm there is. Yeah. So you always have now, you always have the breath. The more you do it, the easier it will come. And if you do it in the easy moments, like when you're having a cup of tea, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're chatting to a friend, because it actually makes you present, a better listener. When you're driving, whatever it is, when you do it when it's easier, it's so much easier when it's harder. When the hit shits the fan.
And I think, lots of you will have heard me say the only time you can ever eat now. So if you want to look at a great distraction technique, isn't this a great one? So if you think you've got a feeling, that urge, right? Well, what can you do? You can eat or breathe. So if you use the breath and the mindfulness, what's it going to do? You're going to breathe. So again, it's really potent. You always look for something in the moment and a distraction. Well, again, this is a fantastic technique. As Arjuna is saying, you've got to think about the present moment and being in that present moment and using that now, and that breath now is a really potent tool.
And you really get to know your wisdom, your gut will say, do I really need to eat right now, or I'm just eating because, am I really truly hungry, or is it just that thing?
Yeah.
You get to know those signs. With mindfulness and that wisdom, you go, okay. Yeah. And the same with anything. So give it a try. Give it a shot. It's worth it.
It most definitely is. Most definitely is. Well, thank you, Arjuna.
If I can help.
And that was
my pleasure.
as always. But yeah, if anyone needs any help, just reach out to him.